Hey guys, Dexter here with Winning Blog Tactics, and I wanted to shoot a quick video to kind of make a couple points. And for you older gentlemen and older ladies in the MLM industry, network marketing, this is sort of a tip from new school to old school. It's kind of a funny way to put it, but the past couple days I've been talking back and forth with an older gentleman, and you can tell he is in like the product shipping. He's in the health and wellness industry, and his business has a huge plant or manufacturing plant that ships out products all over the country, all over the world. And he was trying to basically pitch me into his opportunity. And the first thing is, he never really turned off the sales mode. I find this with a lot of old school guys who were brought up into like home meetings and connecting on the phone and walking through the stores, making cold contacts. And when I first got into this business back in 98 or 99, I was working a full-time job. I was promoted because of my computer knowledge. And all of a sudden there's this really sharp guy. He's got the suit on, approached me and said, "Hey, you noticed you had some computer experience. I'd like to talk to you about a ground floor opportunity." And about the third time he approached me, I actually decided to take a look at it. And I got into the business, and I was taught a lot of the old things, walk around from one place to the next, try and make contacts. I was taught the little gas pump trick where you only put in like $5, so you go back to the gas pump more often and you make a connection with the guy across the pump from you, which I thought was funny. I actually was pro at doing something called 3 up, 3 down, which means like when you're out there doing door-to-door sales and you knock on somebody's door, if you found that person, they were door number 0, and you'd go to three doors up from them knocking on the doors, and 3 doors down knocking on the doors to see if there's anybody else there. And if they weren't there, I'd leave a door hanger and kind of wait for the phone calls to roll in. So he and I were kind of sharing our experiences and our stories. And I was trying to introduce him to the concept of blogging, because I've been blogging for a very, very long time. And for a while through TechDex, the IT side of what I do, I actually sold my own blogging software. It's the TechDex CGI blog. And I always continued blogging over the years and stuff like that. So I was kind of telling him about blogging and what it's doing for sales, and I shared with him some of the stats that's happening as far as product sales online. And he would not turn off the sales pitch. Everything I said, he would try and find some way to flip it into a hard sale, and it was just a really, really huge turnoff. So, with all due respect to him, the first point I want to kind of share and leave with people is that hard sales don't really work anymore. And it's because the first task is to fight for people's attention. I mean, everybody's like staring down on their phones. They're sitting on their laptops. I mean, heck, right now I'm working from home. I'm sitting in my living room here, and it's basically I'm sitting on my computer. I answer my phone here. Sometimes my phones are actually routed through my computer, so when somebody calls, I just hit a button and I talk on my computer. And people are on their phones. People are staring at everything else. They're on Snapchat and they're just occupied. So the hard sale to somebody who doesn't have time, that you don't have their attention, it just doesn't work anymore. And the other thing is that what it actually took in some of the MLM industries before just is not something I was actually fond of doing. One of my upline, 10, 11, 12 years ago, I called his house phone and he answered like it was a business, like it was a distribution business. And the first time I called him, I'm like, no, this isn't right. And I hung up the phone. And, I'm like, I checked the number, I call back, and he's like, no, this is how it's set up. And he basically set up his entire home to be like a distribution center. So when people call, they think they're calling a business. And I decided, that's not something I want to do. I don't need, to make money in the industry. I don't want to have to like convert my house and answer like Dexter Distributions when somebody calls my house. It's not, that's just not something I want to do. And what's funny is in the back of my mind, I'm like wondering how this guy got my attention for so long. And I like him. He's a really cool guy. He's down to earth. He's open, but he just would not turn off the hard sales pitch. And the second thing is, and this is the really important one, please recognize the times that you're living in. Sales strategies change, sales methods change, the mediums that people use to market and sell on changes. And that's because of technology. Please recognize the time that you're living in. We got back and forth into some of the strategies that we were talking about, and he told me he has tools and resources that he used for sales. And I was kind of laughing to myself. I didn't actually say it, but he's like, it's called the telephone. And I'm like, but you're talking to me on Facebook trying to sell me on the 250 products that you sell online. And I responded to an ad that you posted in a Facebook group. So it's a little bit of, cognitive dissonance there, where he believes one thing, but he's completely doing another, and it just hasn't registered to him yet that, he's doing something different than what he believes. So obviously he recognizes the importance of marketing online, the importance of having a presence online, of reaching out and networking with people online. But at the same time, he's shouting down any other marketing strategy that comes online, sort of like blogging. He says, well, blogging is not for me. And that's great. It's not for everybody. Personally, I think because I've been blogging so long that if you don't have a blog, you don't have a business. It's just because there's just so many uses to a blog. And, here he is trying to build a business. He's admittedly 67 years old. But a lot of the people that he's actually recruiting, I mean, he's not just marketing, he's building a business. And a lot of the people that he will be recruiting and running into are people like me. I'm a 77 child. I was raised in born in the 70s, raised in the 80s, and I lived my entire life with access to the internet once I hit about my 20s after I graduated high school and stuff like that. So, we are this generation, Generation X, the tail end of Generation Y, millennials. These are the people that's recruiting to your business. And if you're not able to adapt to the technology, adapt to make your business make sense to them, then people are just not going to be successful in it. Because A, everything right now is going towards the mobile. B, a lot of people are, now marketing on Instagram. In fact, if you do Facebook paid ads, there's an option to include Instagram ads. And, this guy's already marketing on Facebook, and, he's doing the free Facebook and marketing with the groups and stuff like that. But obviously he recognizes, there is some connection with the benefit to marketing online, to having a presence online, to having a website. What's funny is that he was telling me that the old school way is better, being on the phone, but at the same time he's sending me YouTube links to his business opportunity, and there's a little bit of a disconnect there. So understand the times that you're in, and definitely turn off the sales pitch. Network marketing is about connecting with people. It's about making a real connection, because people follow people. People trust people. And the thing is that if you're always on the hard pitch, always on the hard sale, you're actually going to be hurting yourself in the long run. And it's just very imperative that you pay attention to what it is that you're doing. For those of you that are new into the industry, I would tell you that before you go out and you start doing hard pitching, the best thing to do is something that I was taught a very, very long time ago. Network with people, connect with people, get to know them, get to know their hearts, get to find out what it is that they're interested in, why they're looking for what they're looking, and then kind of proceed from there and kind of take the steps along the way to connect with them. And the second thing is, put people first, because it's really the best way to get someone's attention. As I mentioned before, getting people's attention is actually really, really hard, and keeping their attention is even harder. So, those are kind of the things that you have to look for. The way things are changing, I actually think it's for the better, because people actually need to be really genuine now. People really need to be on point now, and people aren't stupid. They can tell when they're being sold. They can tell when they're being pitched into something. So, this is it. This is actually my first video online. I plan to be making some more. If you like what you're hearing, please like, share, leave a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely subscribe. I'd like to hear your feedbacks.